Hello and welcome to Sort of Those classes. We move to the next case in the decision making section. This one is an interesting one. A guy called Rakesh, he is working in a government organization near Dhanbad, and he gets an offer from a private company which is 3 times his salary. 3 times his salary. And in his present company, he is not happy with the growth prospects and the work itself. So he finds it monotonous. He doesn't find interest in the work. But the advantage is that he is in Dhanbad, which is his hometown, and he can visit his parents. And now he's got an offer from a private company and he's wondering whether he should take the offer or not. Now there are 5 decision points that are given here based on which he has to decide on whether he goes with the offer or not. And we have to decide what should be the correct decision points that he should consider. So let's go through them. The first one says, a recent government policy made poor performance punishable by salary deduction or dismissal. Now, since his new company, GNP, is a private company, so any government norm or government policy will not be applicable to them. So this is not a decision criteria for him. The second one says, the first assignment at GNP is a bridge construction project near Dhanbad. So this would fulfill his requirement to stay close to Dhanbad. So this is the decision point. The third one says, with his current savings, Rakesh need not depend on regular income for at least 6 months. So this has nothing to do with the offer of GNP or the new offer that he's got. So therefore, this is not a decision point. The fourth one says, though an exemplary performer, Rakesh had hardly been recognized at SPCL. So this one says that he is frustrated that he is not recognized despite high performance. So this is a decision point as well. Number 5 says, based on the annual performance review at GNP, Rakesh will either earn double the salary or get fired. That means GNP is a meritocracy based organization, and since he is a high performer in the current organization, there is a high chance that he will be getting double the salary in his new company. So this is definitely a decision point because this tells him that there is a lot of opportunity for you to get recognized, get more monetary benefits in the new company. So we see that 1 and 3 are not at all relevant to his decision, and 2, 4 and 5 are points that he can consider. So let's see what are the options. So we can clearly see that option A and option D contains 1, so these are ruled out, and option B contains 3, it is ruled out. Option E also contains 3, this is also ruled out. So we are left with option 5, which contains 5, 4 and 2. So which are the ones that we had also identified. So option 3 is the correct one. Let's go to the next question. In this, he says that he consulted one of his colleagues whether he should join the company, and he gave some information to him that this company is only project based, and once the project is completed, they may not need your skills or they may fire you. So this is what his colleague said, and the question is, which of the following, if true, will best enable Rakesh to decide on the offer? So he's been told that the company typically hires people, uses them for some project, and then fires them. So we have to find an argument or a sentence that would help him decide on this aspect. So the first one says, as GNP also planned to enter 2 southern states, it has decided to recruit people from those states. So this has nothing to do with his decision around being hired for a project and then getting fired. So it is not telling us anything about that. The second one says Manikandan stopped both of his sons from taking up private sector jobs given his loyalty to the government. Now this also has nothing to do with Rakesh's decision point around the fact that GMP is project based. It takes people for projects and then fires them. So this has nothing to do with that. Option C says during the interview, GNP quizzed if Rakesh could sustain his relationship with his former colleagues at SPCIL. Now, whether he maintains relationship with them or not has nothing to do with his occupation with GNP, and it also doesn't tell us anything about whether GNP hires and fires. So this is also not very informative. Option D says, through social media, Rakesh discovered that Manikandan's contact who had left SPCIL to join GNP is no longer with GNP. Now, this might trigger the thought in him that he had been fired or Manikandan's contact has been fired. So, this might be one point that he might start thinking about. The last one says that senior level employees who began their career in similar projects are now confined to their desk at head office for almost a decade. Now this clearly says that they don't hire and fire. They don't hire and fire. So they hire, and when they are finished with those kind of projects, they would move them to desk jobs or other types of jobs, but they don't fire them. So this one definitely would tell him that what is told by Manikandan is probably not correct. So he can decide to join GNP based on this information. So option E is the best information that is being given out of these 5 options, which would tell him that okay, what Manikandan told is probably not true, because this is the actual facts and figures, and therefore we can, or I can definitely go and join them. Let's move to the last question in this case. The last one says that in his current job he came across incidents of bribing by private sector officials, and he was wondering that if he has to bribe government officials when he's working in GNP. And then he was thinking about the questions that he was asked in the interviews, and those are the questions that are given here. So the first one was that the interviewers were puzzled as to how Rakesh could manage his EMIs with his current income. That means they were wondering if he had additional sources of income. Additional sources of income, and this could be bribe or some other profession that he's engaged in. So this is the first one. The second one says one interviewer was constantly probing how Rakesh managed to meet his project deadlines with little cooperation from his subordinates. Now this one also kind of hints at the fact that he might have bribed someone else to get his project through, or he might have bribed someone to sign the papers of completion. So this might also lead to some kind of a conclusion that he was involved in bribe. The third one says, what do you do if your project has a fortnight's deadline and it takes a month to obtain a permit? Now, if you have to finish something in 2 weeks and you have to wait for a permit that needs a month, you have to get it in some way or the other. So therefore, you probably need to bribe, is what this is telling. And number 4 says, a question that intrigued Rakesh was, should a pack of dacoits share their loot with one of their members who killed a bystander against their motto, thou shalt not kill? Now, this is out of the context. It doesn't tell us anything about the point of bribe that is being discussed in the other points. So this is kind of out of the context. Now we are asked to order these sentences in the appropriate descending order of bribing undertones. Now we can clearly see that option number 4 or sentence number 4 has nothing to do with bribe. It is not talking about bribe at all. So let's see in which option. Option 4 is the last one. So A and B gives option 4 as the last one. So definitely C, D and E are ruled out. Now between option A and B, we can see the first option is 1 in A and 3 in B. Now 1 is definitely hinting at bribe. 3 is also hinting at bribe. But amongst the two, the hint in 3 is very strong, and the hint in 1 is not directly at bribe. It can be some other profession as well. So 3 is a little more stronger than 1, and then comes 2, because 2 is talking about how Rakesh managed to meet his project deadlines with little cooperation from his subordinates. Now this might be related to bribe, might not be. He could have influenced them in some other way by smooth negotiations, etc., to sign off the documents of completion. So that could be a possibility. So this is a little weak than 1 and 3. So definitely 2 comes after 1 and 3 in both the options. And between 1 and 3, 3 is a slightly more powerful hint at bribe than 1. So 3, 1, 2, 4 is the correct sequence.